What if the biggest reason Joel Klatt believes Georgia cannot win the national championship is exactly the reason this offense may become more dangerous than people expect? Fox Sports put the question in brutal terms. Where are the playmakers? Klatt's concern is not Georgia's defense, Kirby Smart, or Gunner Stockton's toughness. It is the moment when a playoff game becomes chaos. The scoreboard starts climbing, and somebody in red and black has to win one-on-one and catch the football. Klatt argued that Georgia has lacked frightening outside weapons since Brock Bowers left. Georgia lost veteran production. The room is young. There is no recognized superstar walking into September. But that is where this story turns. Kirby Smart's best teams have rarely needed the country to identify the weapon before Georgia identified it internally. And this time, Klatt may be looking for the wrong thing. Georgia may not need one famous receiver. It may need multiple dangerous answers around a quarterback who has already shown he can survive pressure. So what if America is waiting for Georgia to reveal one superstar, while Kirby Smart is quietly building something much harder to defend?
Nobody outside Georgia's building knows exactly who a defense should fear first. That uncertainty is being treated as weakness. Maybe it is, but it can also become camouflage. According to Fox Sports, Klatt's central concern is that Georgia's outside receivers simply do not scare him. Protection breaks down, a corner is isolated, the quarterback has to trust somebody. But Georgia's answer does not have to look like Ohio State's or Alabama's. It does not have to begin with a household name receiver. According to Georgia Athletics, Mike Bobo said during fall camp that the offense is deliberately working on pushing the football downfield more aggressively with Stockton and identifying players who can turn opportunities into explosive plays. He emphasized that Georgia can create explosives through receivers, tight ends, backs, and smart quarterback distribution. London Humphreys has already made pressure catches in a Georgia uniform. Isiah Canion brings a different frame and catch radius from Georgia Tech. Talyn Taylor carries elite recruiting pedigree. Landon Roldan brings speed. Sokovie White-Helton knows the system. Georgia's tight ends give Bobo another way to punish defenses obsessed with the perimeter. That is why this room feels dangerous in a different way. The defense will not enter September with one jersey circled in red. It will have to discover, snap by snap, whether the vertical shot is going to Humphreys, whether Canion is winning outside, or whether one of Georgia's young receivers is about to become the name everybody missed. The real question is whether Stockton can force a defense to respect every blade of grass. That is the nightmare version of this offense. No obvious alpha, no predictable target funnel, just a quarterback reading leverage and attacking whichever matchup the defense failed to protect. If you enjoy Georgia coverage that digs beneath the national narrative, subscribe to Bulldog Nation News and hit the like button. Your support directly helps us produce more Bulldogs content when the national media decides it already knows Georgia's ceiling. But before we decide Klatt is right, we have to examine the part of his argument that changes everything. Because if Georgia cannot win a shootout, how do we explain what Gunner Stockton already did?
Now the darkness disappears for a moment because numbers do not care about perception. According to Georgia Athletics, Stockton completed 269 of 386 passes last season for a 69.7% completion rate, 2,894 yards, 24 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. Georgia averaged 32.1 points, 220.2 passing yards, and 402.4 total yards per game. Klatt specifically questioned whether Georgia could win a shootout. Georgia already answered. According to Georgia Athletics, the Bulldogs went into Neyland Stadium and beat Tennessee 44-41 in overtime, in a game featuring almost 1,000 combined yards. Stockton completed 23 of 31 passes for 304 yards and 2 touchdowns, as Georgia produced 502 yards of offense. London Humphreys caught the game-tying touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Then came Ole Miss. Georgia Athletics reported that Stockton went a perfect 12 for 12 for 135 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half, as Georgia erased the deficit and won 43-35. Against Texas, he completed 24 of 29 passes for 229 yards and 4 touchdowns, while also scoring on the ground in a 35-10 statement. Now look at the weapons. According to Georgia Athletics, Humphreys produced 276 yards and 3 touchdowns on only 18 receptions last season, more than 15 yards per catch. Isiah Canion arrives from Georgia Tech at 6'4" and 205 pounds. According to Georgia Athletics, he caught 33 passes for 480 yards and 4 touchdowns last season. Then there is Talyn Taylor. Georgia Athletics lists him as a former 5-star prospect who caught 84 passes for 1,617 yards and 24 touchdowns in his final high school season. At G-Day this spring, his lone reception went for 32 yards. Landon Roldan once produced 1,029 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns in a high school season, while true freshman Craig Dandridge arrived after a senior year with 1,193 yards and 18 touchdowns. Those numbers do not guarantee a championship, but Georgia's cupboard is not empty. Klatt is correct about one thing: somebody must emerge. Where he may be wrong is assuming that because America cannot identify that player in August, Georgia does not have him. Kirby Smart does not need the answer to be famous today. He needs the answer to be dangerous in November and lethal in the playoff. With an experienced Stockton and an offense being pushed toward more vertical aggression, Georgia may not be searching for a playmaker at all. It may be waiting for the rest of the country to discover one. So here's the question Bulldog Nation has to answer. Is Joel Klatt exposing the fatal flaw that will stop Georgia again, or has he just handed Kirby Smart and this receiving room the perfect insult to carry into the season? Subscribe to Bulldog Nation News and hit like if you want more Georgia stories built around the numbers, pressure, and battles surrounding this team. Every subscription and like helps us produce more Bulldogs content and keep this channel locked on what matters in Athens. Because if one of these young weapons explodes, nobody will remember who asked where the playmakers were. They will remember who was wrong.